You know, I love old school pen and paper RPGs, and I think maybe I can make some fun videos about them. I wonder if I should. Let's let the dice decide. 7. What does that mean again? Oh crap, hang on, I have a luck token. I get to re-roll. Oh yeah, we're doing this. Hey there, how's it going? I'm TechDweeb, welcome. Thanks for clicking on my little corner of the internet where I scream into the camera about stuff that I like and somehow people keep coming back. Must be something wrong with them. So here's the thing, I have a lot of interests, like too many. I collect hobbies like a Canadian raccoon collects shiny garbage, enthusiastically, with no long-term plan. And one of my most favorite of all my side tangent hobbies is tabletop role-playing games. You know, stuff like Dungeons & Dragons, Pathfinder, dice math, pretending to be an edgy, chaotic wizard with a troubled past. I've been deep into tabletop RPGs for years now, and aside from my glorious quest to review every retro doodad while slowly turning into a root beer molecule, tabletop role-playing is the other thing that eats up most of my free time. It's right up there with overthinking embarrassing things I said back in 2008. And look, at this point, it's pretty obvious that this channel isn't really just about one thing. It's less of a focused YouTube channel and more of a digital junk drawer, but like the kind with cool stuff in it, not just used batteries. Well, some used batteries, to be fair, but some cool stuff too. And since I'm able to take some side tangents into other topics that I like, and some of you even watch them for some reason, I'm going to do that again today. I want to show you a bit about my tabletop role-playing game hobby. If you're like I was before I got into this stuff and you think that tabletop role-playing games means nerds wearing robes and rolling dice in a candlelit basement while yelling about goblins, well, actually, yeah, honestly, that's not far off. But there's more to it than that. I'm going to give you a crash course on what tabletop RPGs actually are, how they work, and what they look like in action. And then I'm going to briefly show you my new obsession, my new favorite pen and paper RPG, Shadowdark, which is like classic D&D but faster, less rules, more fun, and more better. I wanted to make an entire video about Shadowdark, but I figured that since I never really talked about tabletop RPGs before, maybe it would be a good idea to give you a primer on what they actually are. And I'll briefly show you Shadowdark, but honestly, I think that will deserve its own separate video, so I can show you in more depth. And I guess that means this is going to be a 2-part series, or more. I could talk about tabletop RPGs all dang day. Let me know in the comments if you like this sort of thing, and I'll consider doing more stuff like this. Let's begin at the beginning and cover what a tabletop RPG actually is. And at its core, a TTRPG is a storytelling game. It's sort of like a group improv kind of thing, but you're playing the game at the same time. The world of the game is created by one guy, the game master, or dungeon master in Dungeons & Dragons terms. And the game master is sort of like the god of the world. They run the game and they know the rules and they have dice that they use to make decisions. They set the scene and they tell the story, and the players control their characters and say what they want to do. And then the game master says what happens. And whenever a player wants to do something where an outcome isn't guaranteed, we let the dice decide whether that action succeeds or fails. There are lots of different ways that the world could be built. Sometimes there's pre-made adventures that the game master will read and use those as a guide. I've run many games that way. Sometimes the game master will create an entire story and world with a rich, deep lore to uncover. I've run games like that too, although my lore isn't as rich and deep as I'd like. Or sometimes it'll be entirely made up as you go along. The game master has tools that let them use dice to generate stuff like NPCs and traps and dungeons and even entire worlds. It's like a storybook that is all being told together by a group of people, and you use dice to determine what happens in the story kind of thing. But a picture is worth 1,000 words, as they say, so I guess that since a video is made up of thousands and thousands of pictures, then a video is worth 11D bajillion words. So right now, I'm gonna show you what it's like to play a tabletop role-playing game. Allow me to introduce our players, starting with the Game Master. Hello. He's prepared a little adventure for us. Isn't that right, Game Master? Yeah, I got my notes right here. You got your dice? Of course. Nice. And here's a player. Hi, what's that you got there? What, this? This is my character sheet. It contains all the information about my character, their stats and the stuff in their inventory, what attacks they have, and the items they have with them. And you have dice too, I see. Yeah, I need those to do stuff in the game. Well, why don't you tell us about your character? This is Murph, the halfling thief. He's an orphan who grew up in the city of Booger's Gate. He has a troubled past, but he wants to leave that behind and become a better dude. Sounds like a bit of an edgelord. Alright, your turn. What about your character? Yes, hello. This is Fizzgig, the elderly human wizard. A demon tricked him and stole his eyes. He uses magic to see, and he's on a quest to find the demon and get his eyes back. Wow, neat. I'm sure that'll be fun and exciting when that happens. Alright, last player. Tell us about your character. Totally. This is Cracktag, the half-orc barbarian fighter. Her son was taken by the Bone Sea slavers, and she's on a quest to find the slavers and get revenge and free her son. Well, golly gee, what interesting backstories. I bet all those will add some flavor to the story that the Game Master's prepared. Alright, GM, I'll leave it to you. Do your thing. The night is unseasonably cold, which portends great changes in the world. Could it be the second coming of the frost dragon Algramak? Who's to say? You walk through the city of Booger's Gate to the agreed-upon destination. The man in the tavern told you to meet him in the sewer below the Celestial Library. He says he has a job for you with a big payday. You find the entrance to the sewer a block away from the library, but stop short of jumping inside for two reasons. One, it's really stinky down there, it's a sewer, and two, you get the sneaky suspicion that you're being watched. I don't feel so good about this, guys. Like, we don't even know that guy from the tavern. I don't trust him. How do we know this isn't a setup? You're right to be cautious, Murph. Oh, come on, you big babies. It's just a sewer. What's the worst that could be down there? Well, I'm from this city, Cracktag. I grew up on its streets. I've seen things that would make your blood run cold. Can everyone give me a perception check? Murph, you roll with advantage because you're from here and would have a better chance to notice anything unusual. 7, 9, 18. Okay, Murph, your street sense has served you well today because out of the corner of your eye, you catch some movement in the shadows of a dark doorway. Someone is indeed watching and obviously expecting you. Hey, guys, don't look, but I think there's someone over in that doorway over there. Should I go smash their face in? No, I have an idea. Fizzgig casts Charm Person on the man in the shadows. Alright, give me a spell check. 14 on the dice, plus my modifier. That's a 17. Alright, you got it. Excellent. You there, friend. Come out and speak with us. What are you doing here, lurking in the shadows? Oh, hey, I was just waiting. I was hired by the Bone Sea slavers to wait for some chumps to jump down this sewer, and then I'd lock the sewer grate shut so they couldn't get out. There's a tentacle monster down there or something. The Bone Sea slavers. That's part of my backstory. Yeah, it is. How interesting. And are you alone here, waiting for some chumps? All by yourself? Oh, no. Right behind that door there is a few tough blokes, ready to run out and finish the job all sloppy-like if I give the signal. Good to know. And what is the signal exactly? Oh, it's this whistle. I just give this a blow and they come a-running. Wonderful. Can you give that whistle to my halfling friend here, please? Okay, well done. Now, don't you have somewhere you need to be? I do? Yes, you need to be at the docks. I don't know about that. He seems like he's conflicted because he has a job to do and you're telling him not to do it. So even though he sees you as a friend because he's charmed, he's like questioning what you're saying. Okay, Murph says, the boss needs you at the dock, and also your pay will be doubled if you can make it there within 10 minutes. Yeah, he seems to like the idea of getting extra gold. So let's roll a charisma check to persuade him and see what happens. Is 9 enough? Nope. Okay, I'm gonna use my luck token to re-roll. Oh, right, I forgot I gave you a luck token. All right, do it. Aha! 16! Okay, yeah, the man looks like he totally believes you and he's like, okay, I'll go there. Bye-bye. And he just runs off way down the road and out of sight. Toodle-doo! The courtyard is empty and quiet, lit by the glow of the pale moon above. All right, guys, what's the plan? Maybe we could, set a trap? I could blow the whistle and they'll come running, so. Is there anything in the alley that would make a good trap? Well, yeah, actually. I guess above the door with the guys is like a rickety balcony. So maybe you could drop that on their heads if you pull out the support, but you'll need a strength check for that. Yeah, that sounds good. Oh, okay, so I'll blow the whistle and then they run out. Oh, I can put a wall of force up so they get stuck there right outside the door. And then I smash the support and make the balcony fall on them. And then we can search their bodies and look for notes or clues about the Bone Sea slavers. I like this plan. Let's do it. All right, go ahead and get in position and yeah, let's see how it goes. All right, I stand back from the door and then I blow on the whistle. Toot! A moment after you blow the whistle, you can hear muffled voices from behind the door. You can hear weapons being drawn, and the door busts open and like 6 thugs with axes and swords run out. Uh-oh. I cast Wall of Force. All right, roll for it. Damn it. 7. Nope, sorry. Your spell fizzles out. Don't worry. I got this. I smashed the support holding the balcony. All right, give me a strength check. Oh, 11? Nope, sorry. The difficulty class was 15 on that. Crap. The 6 guys all look around and they see you 3 standing there and they get these big evil grins on their faces and they're like, well, boys, looks like we just interrupted a bit of a party. Let's join the fun, shall we? Is it too late to run away? Yep, roll initiative. Cracktag pulls out her axe and is like, don't worry guys, we got this. I really wish I saved that luck token. What will happen to our hapless heroes? Will they survive this thrilling ordeal, or will they be defeated and fed to whatever lurks in the sewer? Or maybe turned into slaves, taken away on a boat or something to a far-off land maybe. A land with dragons probably. Well, I don't know. I just made this up. This was just a little mini example of what it's like to play a tabletop role-playing game. Maybe I can do this again in a future video. Let me know in the comments if you'd actually want to see me do this again. And also click the thumbs up button and subscribe. That would let me know that I should do it again. You guys would be up for this again, right? Of course. Totally. What about next Thursday? I can't Thursday. My kid has a thing. I can do Saturday. No, weekends are no good for me. Well, I'm booked all next week. I could do 3 weeks from now on Tuesday morning. No good for me. What about February? And yeah, there's a dark side to tabletop RPGs, unfortunately. So now, after this amazing video, you want to try to play a tabletop RPG. Excellent choice. It can be as simple or as complicated as you like. You don't need experience and you don't need to spend any money. Grab the free basic rules for a system, read them, and then you're basically ready to go. Most games have a free starter set with pre-made characters. I'll link to Shadowdark's starter set in the thingy below. Print your character sheet or write out your own on paper like a medieval accountant. If you want to make your own hero, print out a blank character sheet and follow the roll a character part. Maybe I can show you how that works in the Shadowdark video. You'll need dice. A cheap RPG set has a D4, a D6, a D8, a D10, a D12, D20, plus an optional percentile D10 for D100 rolls. Or skip the real plastic math rocks and use a dice app. You can even type roll a D20 into Google and bonk the digital dice like a civilized goblin. Someone needs to be the game master, so they're gonna read the GM section of the starter rules and pick an adventure. One-shots are perfect for first games. That's a one-shot is like an adventure that is a short thing that you just play in one session. Most are for D&D 5th edition, which is a great place to start. I've run several really long multi-year campaigns in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition and also short stuff too. It's the most popular tabletop RPG for a reason. It's great, but Shadowdark is my new favorite. All of my in-person groups have switched over to Shadowdark. So before we wrap up, let's have a quick little chit-chat about why Shadowdark rules. Like I said, I'll do a full Shadowdark video soon, but here's the broad strokes. At the basic level, Shadowdark plays like Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. Same dice, same 2 hit rolls, same vibe. If you know 5th edition, you can learn Shadowdark in like 5 minutes, because it keeps the good core mechanics and it dumps a mountain of the fiddly stuff. Shadowdark is an OSR style game, which stands for Subscribe to Mr. Sujano, or Old School Revival. depending on how you want to interpret that. It's sort of like a retro game version of a tabletop RPG. Over time, Dungeons & Dragons became really bloated with tons of classes and spells and feats and rule books that breed more rule books. There's lots there. It's good for options, but it is rough on table speed. With 5 players, each with 4-page character sheets with actions and reactions, bonus actions, actions that give you more actions, one single combat round can take forever. I've had 4-hour sessions that finished a single fight and a bag of chips. Shadowdark tries and succeeds in fixing the pacing. There's fewer classes and races, tighter spell lists, less gear, smaller list of monsters. All the important stuff is there, it's just kind of simplified down. And importantly, the turns take like 10 to 20 seconds instead of 2 to 5 minutes. You stop staring at your character sheet for a super move that will save the day, and you start looking at the world for a clever play. You gotta use your brain meats, not a flowchart. It also brings back the old school danger. In 5th edition, you feel like a demigod after a few levels. In Shadowdark, you feel mortal, no matter what level you are. Mistakes can get you dead quick. The combat is crunchy and risky, and the dark, oh man, the dark is deadly. No one has dark vision. Light actually matters. In Shadowdark, when you light a torch, you start a real 1-hour timer in real life. If you let that torch run out, you are plunged into darkness and you can hear the skitters of the dungeon creatures around you. Lighting a new torch while things in the darkness breathe on your neck is peak panic. I love it. The book is clean too. Instead of 3 core books, Shadowdark is 1 compact volume with player rules, game master tools, monsters, items. It's all there in this one cool little book. It's got big readable text and sweet old school fantasy art. It is fun to just read and flip through. And also the official add-ons, the adventures, are these cool old school zines, which feels perfectly retro. There's even a solo mode called Solo Dark if you want to crawl by yourself. If you're into retro games, you'll probably dig Shadowdark. It feels like a classic game that you would play with friends at a table back in like the 80s and 90s. No save states though, sadly. Anyways, that's it. That's all I have for you today. A little introduction to tabletop RPGs and a little sneaky peek at Shadowdark. Please let me know if you like this sort of content and what you'd like to see if I make more videos like this. But that'll do it from me for today. I'm TechDweeb, and I hope you have a sort of okay but not that great day, I guess. Bye-bye.